Thunderbolts is directed by Jake Schreier, and this is the final film of Phase 5 of their MCU lineup in this multiverse saga. And the film stars Florence Pugh, Sebastian Stan, Wyatt Russell, Pullman, David Harbour, John-Kamen, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus. The film follows a group of antiheroes must team up and embark on a dangerous mission to stop an evil threat, but also conquering their darkest past. This film, there's a lot of high writing on it. Many Marvel fans hoping this is the film that can swing them back in the right direction for this franchise. I said this millions of times, guys. I said before, the MCU, the recent years after post-Endgame, has been really up and down. I said it before, but I might as well just repeat it. It's just going through the motions. It's trying to figure out, how to get things going again and try to get the fans excited to see what they have in store. But every MCU film now has been really hit and miss. Some, I think there are good standouts like No Way Home, Deadpool and Wolverine, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Shang-Chi, and even, this one, which we'll get to in a moment. But as far as anything else, some are better than others. Some I do like more than others. Some are much better than others, but everything else have been, just all right to disappointing, I guess. I went to this film with some high expectations. I was really pulling for this movie. I was really pulling for this. I would say this, I'm genuinely surprised. This is, like I said, this is a huge swing back to the old roots of the MCU. And this is a breath of fresh air for this franchise. This film delivers on a really good, strong high note for this film. And I'm pleased to say, as a Marvel fan and MCU fan, this is a big delight for me. This is back in those days where it looks like the MCU in the best way, in the old ways where it used to be grounded so great and it has that magical feel to it. I will say this, I will get to the characters and the acting, but I will say this film deals with trauma, depression, and mental health, and they handle those themes very well. This is like a constructed story for this film, for these characters, their journey going through, because I think what this film does, it handles the themes and the plot very well. It doesn't come across as, cliche, very predictable. They do it the way it's very smartly written, and the way it constructs those story arcs from each act, from the beginning act to the second act to the final act, conveys the story very well. It doesn't really just do it for the sake of, let's throw it in there by some big MCU spectacle, even though you do get some MCU spectacle, but it wasn't the way you think it's going to do it that way. It's doing the way it's really smart. Creativity in this film and the emotional beats to the film. This film is really touching and really heartfelt, and because you feel around these characters, you do feel their struggles from their past, what they're dealing with, especially Yelena Belova, played by Florence Pugh. And for her character in this film, basically tried to, after we've seen her from Black Widow, after she lost her sister Natasha, the original Black Widow, and of course her appearance in Hawkeye, we've seen from that. So you see her character grow, and you just try to figure out who she is and try to figure out her place in the world, and of course dealing with her, past and try to move on, even though they couldn't move on because it still lingers into them. Pretty much all these characters we've seen from the past MCU deal with their traumas, and definitely feels that way. It really conveys that story. All these characters, I can go on. These characters are unique. And I think all of them got developed, and they do have their own moments to shine. They don't shy away from it. What I've seen, my favourite character in the film is Florence Pugh's Yelena. Yelena is just a fun character. Ever since I saw her in Black Widow back in 2021, and of course the Hawkeye series, and appeared in a few episodes. Her character's a lot of fun. Every time she's on screen, she just brings so much energy. And the way Florence Pugh plays that character, this is one of her best performances. She's great in the past too, but this is her really shines. She really plays that character. She elevates it, and she brings that emotions, the feelings, especially towards her father, David Harbour's character, the Red Guardian. David Harbour is fun to watch. He's the comic relief of the film, but he does bring some heart and soul to the film, and also the emotional way between him and Yelena, which I thought their chemistry between them is really good. And you see the emotion, especially, I'm not going to spoil, but the way this scene in just the third act come along. I felt the emotion. I actually felt the impact between those two. And honestly, the moment those two, bond over each other at that scene, I actually teared up. I actually cried. I nearly cried, almost. Just little tears on my face. There's a lot of heart and passion going to this. I do feel the emotions, the weight to it. And of course, another big standout performance, it has to be Louis Pullman as Bob, aka Century, aka The Void, who you probably saw in the trailers. His character is very interesting, and Louis Pullman does a great job here. He definitely plays that awkward, shy, but when you do see him becoming what he becomes, especially towards the climax, I'm not going to spoil, I'm going to keep it mouth shut. This is a non-spoiler review. His character in this film is just, I don't know what to say, he pulled it off. He played that funny, awkward, but yet when he comes to his darker half, you do see his performance elevates. Just bring it on, just brings out so much energy. And of course, other casts, you do like Wyatt Russell's John Walker, US Agent, which a character that I do really like since the Falcon Winter Soldier. I know he's the most hated, but Wyatt Russell made us hate that character. But I'm going to like him a lot more because he's starting to become the most interesting character because I like to see more of him. And he definitely has his moments of shine. He do showcase his character in this film. And of course, funny enough, I'm genuinely surprised. Hannah John-Kamen as Ava Starr, aka Ghost, really is a lot better here than she was in Ant-Man and the Wasp. Even though her performance was fine in that film, but her performance in this one is actually a lot better. I think she definitely has her moments to shine, even though you do get a glimpse of what's happened to her. I wish we could have done even a little bit more. It's a little nitpick here. I'm not nitpicking here, but I wish we could have seen, maybe what happened to her during that time after Ant-Man and the Wasp, during the blip. I wish we could have dived into that a little bit more with her and what's been going on with her, catching up with her a little bit. It's been a while since we've seen her. And even though the shorts in the stick, I will say this, Sebastian Stan, Bucky Barnes, even though he was great, he definitely got a little less character development than the others do, but I will say he definitely feels like a leader and he definitely feels more like a certain character that he has dealt with his own trauma in the past, and he also tried to relate with those group of anti-heroes trying to say, look, I've been what you've been through, the past will not go away, which he does bring some of that line delivery to these characters. It definitely works. Do you like their dynamic? The team dynamic here it's great. I do like their team dynamic. They're bouncing off one another. The one of them bouncing off, arguing, but also deliver that some kind of emotional weight to it, which I really liked. I do love it. The characters are fun to watch. The banter's funny. The humor is actually quite funny. It's really has that MCU humor there and there, but it's done the way it's smartly written. There may be some jokes that may not work for everyone because humor is subjective. This one I got some laughs out, especially with David Harbour's Red Guardian. He's got some good laughs, and Yelena Belova, Florence Pugh's performance. The characters just bouncing off is just amazing from their dynamic, and I really enjoyed the performances. The action scenes are fun. What you expect from Marvel, the action scenes are there. You get what you expect from it. If you love action, this film just gets into it. There's really cool action scenes. And the funny thing is, the climax of the film, the final act, it's not a big action spectacle. It's basically going to that bit. If you've seen the trailer, they're going to the dark bit, the void. That's where it elevates. It just delivers that emotion. The character they're going through the epic journey. Because I will say this, I know people trash Marvel for being just popcorn entertainment, nothing else. But to those people who are saying that, the MCU is not trying to be popcorn spectacle. Well, yes, they do have that spectacle popcorn entertainment, but what comes first is the characters. The characters comes first, then the spectacle. Because you do actually feel their character growth, and you do feel it in there. I do actually felt it. I appreciate Marvel for doing something different and bold and risky. And that is something different. I admired it for not doing the whole typical CGI boss fight, which, funnily enough, there's no CGI in this film. Maybe there are bits here and there, but for the majority of it, it's mostly practical effects and just having practical effects, especially some stunt scenes with Florence Pugh jumping off the highest, tallest building from the opening scene, which, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how she does it because she's inspired by Tom Cruise, even though she will never be Tom Cruise, but she inspired to be that way, and I do applaud her for doing something like this. I would have never done it, but I applaud her for doing that. Well done to her. As far as my negatives for the film, I would say Julia Louis-Dreyfus as, I was going to call her Valentina, I don't want to pronounce the full name, as Valentina de Fontaine. She's good, I liked her, I enjoyed her performance, but she's definitely could have done a little bit better. I wish she could develop a bit more, because she's definitely felt like a short note end of the stick, which I don't know if that's a negative or nitpick, but you know, her performance was good. She definitely has her moments, but I wish we could have dived in a little bit more what's her motivations, because it's a little bit unclear what she's doing, but then, because by the further out, it definitely changes a little bit, which I know that's a big, you know, whoa, okay, it's a bit difference, but I don't know if it's a nip or negative, but the way the film looks, I don't know if it's the cinematography-wise, but it's very dark and very grim and gritty, which I don't know if it's done for purpose, but or done it because they want to try to do something different, but for me, the way I see it, I think it's done it on purpose, I think in a certain way, because it definitely feels a more grounded approach for these films. Like, I think they're trying to be more grounded. I appreciate what this one trying to do, and I liked it. It doesn't bother me that much. I can go on with this film. This movie is just damn near perfection. Just, it's close to being perfection, but this film is definitely up there as one of the better MCU films, and this is one of the best ones I've seen so far. After Captain America: Brave New World, even though I don't hate that film, I do enjoy watching it now and again, but if you see my review, check it out if you want to. For what it is, I enjoyed it, but I wish they could have done a little bit more on that. But this one is a lot better than Brave New World. I think I enjoyed it a lot more. And stay behind the mid-credit scene and the post-credit scene, especially the post-credit scene. The post-credit scene, Marvel fans, prepare to see this, because it's going to be, I don't want to say the word, but watch this scene, then you can see the phrase if you want to. Overall, I think Thunderbolts is a breath of fresh air, and it's definitely a step right in the right direction for the MCU going forward. I'm very excited to see what they can do with Fantastic Four First Steps, and either the Disney Plus series, whatever they're doing there, I'm looking forward to see what they can do with that. And of course, the upcoming Avengers, Doomsday and Secret Wars. The MCU's future looks brighter than ever. I'm going to give Thunderbolts an A. Guys, comment down below and tell me, what do you think of Thunderbolts? Do you love it? Do you like it? Do you think it's alright, or do you hate it? Whatever the case is, comment down below and tell me what you think. Thank you for so much for watching, guys. Until next time, see ya!